Hello everyone, my name is SiC and welcome back to another Ground Branch Intel Report blog post update video basically. Now, unfortunately I am a little bit late. This blog post was released on October the 12th and I haven't been able to really cover it up until now because life and work has kept me busy for the past couple of weeks really. But now that I have some time, let's dive into all of the new good stuff. Alright, so we're going to jump straight into the V1033 news, which is of course the next big update for Ground Branch and what we are all waiting for. So V1033 will finally allow us to mount a mini red dot sight such as the RMR to pistols that are fit for it. So it's not going to be available for all pistols, but it is going to be available for some. At this time, that would include both the G19, the MK25 and the M17. I'm going to show, of course, the screenshots belonging to this on the screen right about now. In addition, they also show a screenshot which is for a new mini red dot sight, the Doctor 2, which was commissioned to Cody Cudmore. And this is something that was also discussed earlier in the previous blog post, as well as my earlier video, of course. The A2 style assault rifle carry handle, as well as the brand new M16A4 model, which should better match up with the other AR-15 models, both in quality and scale, which are also already in the game. In addition to that, the bipod grip is also receiving a new model. And of course, I'm going to show that on the screen right now. Something that would impact our gameplay a little bit more, rather than just the cosmetics of a carry handle, is that they are now also making the SMG or PDW, aka the personal defense weapon pouches, into doubles. So we can carry as much ammo for those types of weapons. We can carry as much ammo for those just like we can for the rifle, so now they're on an equal basis. This next bit of news might be really appreciated by some of the realism plans and things like that. Updates to the shoot house. So it is called shoot house, sometimes kill house. On the farm, which is a separate map, is a place where you can practice your teamwork with your clan members or teammates that you regularly play co-op with. You can basically practice your room clearing procedure and reaction time and all of that. But it could get a little bit stale because it had a fixed floor plan and layout. So in V1033, players will be able to choose between a number of different layouts, and as of right now, the number of layouts would be up to 5. Which of course is including the old layout, which was added in the previous V1030's kill house training level, via the target app display right next to the shoot house's entrance, which is really cool because it means you don't need to load a separate map. You just walk up to the building that you do the practice run in, and there is an interactive screen right there, and you can select the layout and you just change it on the fly within the map. So there will be no loading screens required, which is really, really awesome. Next up, something that will make many server admins quite happy, as well as a lot of players, in fact, as well. It is a technical limitation that the vast majority of players will not see, but it will heavily impact their gameplay experience. And one of the main things here would be the kit restrictions menu in the admin panel, which I will be showing on the screen right now. So what this is going to do is basically we can set red team and blue team camo restrictions, and we can give them specific colors. So we can have blue team with blue shirts, for example, red team with red shirts, or we can make red team only wear flak tarn, whereas blue team is going to wear all black. Something like that, but basically it is going to restrict both teams in player versus player combat to certain camo scheme colors. So you will not see people with the same color scheme or the camo scheme on the other enemy team, which is going to make it much easier to identify your enemy and your friendly forces in the area. Now, in addition, another feature has been requested for a quite long time, and that is the favorite servers feature. The UI has been there for a while, but finally they have rigged it up, so it should then be functional as soon as v10.33 releases. This feature is also tied into Steam directly, so you can view and manage your favorite servers offline within Steam as well. Finally, another change that has been made is to allow server admins to specify a message of the day text that can be displayed as usual with the admin motd console command, while simultaneously displaying an image on the server info board via the new text tag. Changes made by admins to the message of the day or server name will also propagate immediately to all users. Next up, call signs. Call signs are short IDs by which players may be more easily identified. These will be displayed on the body, which I will also show in a screenshot on the screen right now. Call signs are displayed as their own arm patches, though only on tops that have a Velcro patch, so it's not going to be showing up on a t-shirt, for example, and are limited to 3 alphanumeric characters, A to Z and 0 to 9, which can be entirely custom, though of course within limits, or use an automatically assigned team element based value, like alpha 01 or A01, if you're the first man on element alpha. The latter can be forced for all players by server admins. So for me personally, I'm thinking I could probably put in SiC, you know, because my nickname is just 3 letters long. I could probably just put SiC on there and that will be super recognizable. But if you have a longer nickname, you're going to have to either just use the basic call signs, or you have to shorten your nickname, which, you know, could be possible because they can customize it. But at the same time, server admins can force the call signs for a team, which is also kind of nice. Various UI elements have now been updated to include the new call sign system, and as part of the server quality of life upgrade, server admins can do whatever player name and call sign validation they wish via a new server management mutator packaged into a mod. The specific format of these call signs can also be chosen by the server owner. Next up, something that excites me quite a lot, maps and game modes. So there is going to be a new map coming to the game, which is called Docks. And every game mode has now been made for that new map, including the most complex intel retrieval setup so far. That sounds very interesting. Some more limited deathmatch areas have also been created, and DTAS, aka Dynamic Take and Secure, should be a very interesting tactical proposition on this map. Yeah, sounds interesting. This you can see on the screenshot right here. We have a ship which is enterable, except for the interior of the ship itself. That will not be enterable, so you have a bunch of containers on the ship, which constitutes the tactical challenge that you have to navigate, as well as the docks itself, of course. Looks quite cool. This is of course the night version of that map, and there will probably, assumably, be multiple times of day like there are for every other map in the game. Uplink should apparently also be a challenge for defenders and attackers alike, and both terrorist hunt and team elimination will of course also be present. Finally, in the maps section, they challenge us to reconcile or recognize, I guess, some of the angles at which they've taken screenshots from for the depot map overhaul. They show 3 different screenshots, which I will be showing on the screen right about now. It looks super Soviet time, you know, like Eastern Europe, old Soviet industry or industrial areas, you know. It looks very cool, it looks very, very interesting. And I recognize the top 2 or the first 2 screenshots that I've shown on the screen. The third one, I'm pretty sure where it is, but that overhang is definitely new. I don't recognize that, but you know, I see a train track there. It's going to be somewhere in the center of the map where the train tracks run, but it might actually be the new bridge on the left side of the map, on the western flank of the map, now that I think of it. So for depot, it will also require See, the updated depot will also require a game mode and acoustics update in order to account for the design changes. All right, yeah. So, of course, you know, that makes sense. Can't have the old navigation for the AI set up and working in a new map, because there are some layout changes as well. Next up are some ready room hints. They are not directly related to level design, of course, but they have made some updates which are aimed at new players particularly, with revamped hints in more prominent places as well as in-world ready room hints to make things as clear as possible about where you have to go and what to do when you start your first ground branch video. Now, these will not be around forever for long-term players. They are temporary and will disappear after the first few sessions, but they also can be reset under settings, then gameplay, to start appearing like when you first started the game. Lastly, they are talking about hostage rescue, which is a player versus player mode, and terrorist hunt improvements. They are working on a new player versus player hostage rescue game mode, so that is going to, I guess they don't specifically state here. I'm guessing it might come to 1033, maybe 1034. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember, sadly. But what's important here is that they're also not ignoring the player versus environment modes, which are, of course, the cooperative game modes. Besides the AI improvements, which were discussed in the Intel Report 11, the terrorist hunt mode is being refined with 2 new features that are currently under testing. Like, for example, on some larger maps, a new AI hotspot feature will be available where certain areas of the map spawn a larger than usual number of enemies, providing more of a focus and challenge. Now that is super interesting, super cool. It's optional, so it's not going to be on all the time, but that could definitely change up game flow on these maps. And honestly, some of these maps I have played for so long now that I welcome any change. And it doesn't need to be a permanent change, but something that throws off my core expectation of what a map is going to play like is just super, super welcome. In addition, there will be the return of the bum rush feature, which is basically when you only have a couple of enemies left on the map, they are basically going to come at you. So you don't have to hunt them down for like half an hour, you know, like which on, for example, the oil rig map could be a huge problem. That map is insanely big, insanely detailed, it's easy to miss each other. Having the AI come after you when there's just a few left is going to be such a time saver, and at the same time a threat to you, because of course, you know, when you get bum rushed by a couple of AI, you have to deal with them. They could come from multiple directions maybe, so it is going to be very, very cool to see what kind of shenanigans they're going to get into, or what kind of dynamic situation is going to occur as a result of the AI coming after you when there's only a few left. Audio optimization, meanwhile, is also still going on, and they have put in a new video which shows some of the interior space gunshot tails, which I'm going to play on the screen right now. Sounds awesome, doesn't it? Finally, we have some more news that goes beyond the next update. So what you will see from this point on in the video is not going to be in v1033. So don't go expecting that right now. One of those things is Friendly AI, which was first teased last month. And though it's it's going to be at least a couple of updates away from an initial playable iteration. But, you know, just a reminder, friendly AI is of course being worked on, so that is very exciting. This month they are taking the opportunity to showcase some of the upcoming female characters and related assets that they've been working on with Pau Peñalver. Not entirely sure how to pronounce his name. But they are hoping to have these ready for 1034, but that is a tentative promise. It's not really a promise, like they're hoping to get it done before the next update, but it is going to require a serious amount of work to make all of the assets work with female bodies, and they might not get there in time. But let's have a look. So what we can see here on the screen right now is a bunch of new faces, as well as different hairstyles, different skin colors as well. So we have Caucasian in 2 different kinds of colors. We have black women, we have Asian women, and what look like Latin women as well, though they are a bit less recognizable. They kind of look Caucasian to me as well, but who knows, you know, there are a lot of fair-skinned or lighter-skinned Latin people as well. It looks very cool though. In addition, they have a bunch of clothes as well that they're showing off, which of course are going to have to adjust to the new body dimensions, like the chest area, the hips or the hip area. And the final screenshot is another overview where a female character is wearing various kinds of body armor and vests, which of course, you know, like they need to be made specifically for the female figure as well, because if not, the chest area of the female operators might stick through the vest that a male character would wear, for example. So all of that is going to require some fine-tuning, some work, but I'm personally very excited to see this addition to the game. It is something, you know, that you do see in real life. It's not maybe extremely common, but it is something that I think is going to add a lot of value to the game for female players as well. So I'm happy with its inclusion, as well as, of course, as well, specifically the black character. You know, it's a very different face, but it kind of brings me back to the original Rainbow Six and Rogue Spear. And even back when I was a young kid, my favorite character in that game was not what was his name? Chavez. Diego Chavez or something like that, you know. It was like basically the default character, the first one you encountered when you clicked on Santiago. That was his name. Santiago Chavez, I think. You know, that was the first character you would click on because he was first up in the list. But one of my favorite characters was Raymond Renee, or I guess her first name is Renee and then her last name was Raymond, because they kind of switched that around, you know. Which was a black female operator, which, you know, I don't know why, she just appealed to me, even though in game you literally don't see her face because she's wearing a balaclava, or, you know, like the face mask thing. It's just something that I enjoyed playing for some reason. I don't know why. So it's cool to see all of this sort of all of the different races, as well as men and women, both being represented in the game. Yeah, good stuff. And that brings us to a close. That is all the new stuff that was detailed in the most recent October news blog post. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like and a comment below if you enjoyed this content and wish to see more. And I will see you guys for whatever video I do next.